And I'm not exactly sure how to sort of fit this in with this next guy. I mean, such a beautiful, flowery history of cowboy poetry. But I'll tell you, when it comes to entertainment value, there is nothing like what he does. He didn't even see us there. We were at Agribition in Regina, Canada's biggest agricultural show, probably, last December. I don't know how many thousand people there were in the stands, and they were wiping tears from their eyes and patting each other on the back and slapping their knees, just absolutely enthralled with the humor and the poetry of this next fella, Old Ugly.
Is this one? Oh, it works. I've got a voice almost as deep as Hugh's. Anyway, you know, I was in the back, and I get nervous before a show. I don't know about you folks, but man, I get nervous. I was pacing back and forth, and this woman come up to me, and she said, "Are you nervous, sir?" I said, "Me nervous?" I said, "Man, I've been all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska up to Grand Cache. I've been all the way from Winnipeg to Vancouver." I said, "Nah, I get nervous." I said, "Why do you ask?" She said, "What are you doing in the women's bathroom?" You know, I know why that Air Canada is losing money. I was going down to Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm sitting in that airplane, and I'm waiting, and nothing's happening. All of a sudden, I hear this tap, 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 and I turn around, and there's these two fellas dressed in airplane pilot uniforms, dark glasses, arm in arm, white canes going tap, 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 tap. And they walk by me. They walk right into the pilot's cabin, close the door, but the intercom's on. And I hear them going through the engine check. All of a sudden, that airplane starts taking off. Man, it's going down the runway, and it's going faster and faster, but it ain't leaving the ground. Man, we're coming to the end of the runway, and we all start to scream, and then that airplane takes off. And I hear a voice in there saying, "You know, one day they ain't going to scream. And we're all going to die." Then the young woman beside me, she starts to feed the baby. She's breastfeeding the baby. We get up to 30,000 feet, she stops breastfeeding the baby. When we're starting to come down again in Lincoln, Nebraska, she starts feeding that baby again. Oh man, I'm just some beat up old country boy. I don't understand this stuff. So I saw her in the terminal, and I said, "Ma'am," I said, "how come when we took off in Calgary, you started breastfeeding that baby? You get up there 35,000 feet, you stop feeding the baby. You start coming down here, and you start breastfeeding that baby." She said, "Well, sir, for two reasons. Number one, the baby was hungry. But more importantly, if you're taking off, and you're landing, and the baby's sucking, his little ears don't pop. And me chewing gum all these years." And then she whips it out, and she starts feeding that baby again. Boy, I'm trying to be cool. I said, "Man," I said, "that's a healthy looking child." She said, "That's because I'm bringing it up on mother's milk and orange juice." I said, "Which one of them things got the orange juice?" I finally get to Lincoln, Nebraska. I go into this here big hall. I'm in there, and this woman comes up, and she said, "You must be Old Ugly from Canada, are you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "You ready for tonight?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. I got my cowboy outfit ready." She said, "Oh, no, you can't use the cowboy outfit. This is a formal affair. You have to use a tuxedo." I said, "A tuxedo? I don't have a tuxedo, and even if I did, I wouldn't know how to put one on." She said, "We've anticipated that, sir. When you go to your hotel room, you'll see there's a tuxedo there. At 7 o'clock tonight, a man will be there to help you put it on." Well, 7 o'clock, nobody's there to help me put it on. 7:15, still nobody there to help me put it on, so I put it on the best I could, but it had a tie. I don't know how to put a tie on. So I ran out in the hall, and I'm looking up and down, looking for somebody to help me put it on, and all of a sudden I see this weaseled up old man down by the elevators. Looked like he went through about a 3-month bout of the Scours. For you city people, that means diarrhea. I said, can you help me put this tie on? Well, he started jumping around, hooked one foot behind my knee, put his hand on my chest and give me a shove. I landed flat on my back. He jumps on top, he starts fiddling around with my tie. Man, I'm only 5'8", but I weigh dang near 200 pounds. And I'm hauling up to teach that fella a lesson. He says, hush your mouth. I'm the Undertaker, and this is the only way I can put a tie on. Now, man, I travel around a lot, and a lot of times my wife's working and she can't come with me. And I get pretty lonely. I've been married for 35 years, and I get lonely all by myself. Well, I got an older brother, Blue. He ain't never been married, but he lived with a lot of women until they kicked him out. So I phoned him up and I said, Blue, I said, how do you get over this here being lonely in bed by yourself after living with them women? He said, a long time ago, he said, I learned how to fool myself into thinking there was somebody in bed with me. I said, how'd you do that? He said, I shaved one leg.
Now, honestly, did you enjoy Old Ugly at all? Let him know, okay? John, you sure did, and you never failed to make us forget all of our problems and take us to another place for a little while. I'm not sure if we want to come back, but that was really something.